Hi, everybody. It's Dean Zierfoss speaking to you from my basement. Today, I want to talk to you about LSAT Flex. What is the deal? I had a colleague ask me the other day, should her son cancel his registration for the LSAT because it had been converted from the regular LSAT into the LSAT Flex? My short answer is no. Proceed. Now, I say that without knowing anything about your particular circumstances, which is, of course, my default position for all of these. So let me dig in and explain why. First, let me talk about what the LSAT Flex is. It was conceived and developed and executed by the Law School Admissions Council, the people who bring you the regular LSAT, in response to the circumstances and challenges of COVID-19, specifically a period during which sitting with 30 of your friends in a classroom while you stress out about the LSAT and sweat and sigh heavily seems like a particularly problematic activity. So that's all to the good. But what is it exactly? What does it consist of? It is remotely proctored. You'll take it in your own space and on your own equipment. It is the same exact sorts of questions as the regular LSAT has, but it will be shorter. It will be 3 scored sections only. Usually, the LSAT is 4 scored sections and 1 unscored section. So you will be out of there more quickly. That seems good. The scoring style is the exact same, 120 to 180, so it will be familiar to you and it will be familiar to the law school admissions offices reviewing your scores. So that also, very good. So why would somebody not want to take it? One reason is it's just different, and people worry that law school admissions offices won't take it as seriously. And in fact, I've seen a little chatter about that on Reddit. Nonsense is a strong word, but that is the word I would use to describe that hypothesis. I can only speak with authority, of course, about what Michigan will do, but I talked to a lot of people at a lot of other law schools, and I've not heard anybody say they're not planning to treat the LSAT Flex with the same seriousness as they treat LSATs generally. We rely, as a practical matter, on the LSAC to do a good job with vetting the LSAT all the time. They have to tell us if it's reliable. They have to tell us if it's valid, if it's predicted, it is fair, if it is accessible. And we admissions officers are not in a great position to assess that. So why would we suddenly start questioning LSAC's judgment because it's the LSAT Flex versus the regular LSAT? I just don't see that happening. And I can tell you for sure it won't happen at Michigan. Why else might someone not want to take it? Well, it's a slightly different setting. You read about what the LSAT is like, and there's just not as much information as about this because it's new. But as I say, there's a lot of it that is completely the same. It is the same sorts of questions. It's the same sort of scoring. So I don't think that's a great reason to be worried about it. Now, if you take it and it feels terrible for whatever reason, you can just cancel it right away. And all the law school admissions people will see is a little slash mark that you were there and you canceled. In general, no one minds or cares or even particularly notices if you cancel a test before you get the score. Nobody ever minds. And to the extent anyone even notices, that's going to be even less of the case with the LSAT Flex, where we know it is new and people might just be a little spooked by it. So don't worry about that. But what if you take it and you feel like it went well, and then you get the score and it does not look like what your practice tests were suggesting your score would be? Again, you can just take it again. And the good news is Law School Admissions Council has told us that the LSAT Flex sittings will not count against your lifetime allotment of numbers of times you can sit for the LSAT. So really, there's no reason not to. And there is a very good practical reason for doing it, which is if you have been preparing and you feel ready to go, putting it off a few months or however long it's going to take till we have regular LSATs again isn't great for you. It is hard to maintain that level of edge, that level of preparation once you get there. And you don't want to have to keep studying for this test forever and ever. So I would say, and we don't, right now, the LSAT Flex has only replaced a couple of tests. But we don't know when that's going to stop. There's, every reason to think that until we get a vaccine, sitting in a crowded room is going to be a problem. So I would say plow forward. There is very little downside to doing so, maybe no downside at all. Okay, that's all I got on the subject of LSAT Flex, but I do want to leave you with a grammar thought. M dashes, I love them. Lots of people love them. I've noticed in recent years, people are increasingly using them to substitute for other parts of punctuation. So periods, commas, semicolons, all are sometimes have their place taken by M dashes, parentheses too. And they're very useful. But I would say that sometimes we can over-rely on them. So one thing I usually do is go back and look at my writing, sort of mentally assess, is that a lot of M dashes? And then take a few out and substitute other punctuation marks, since we have so many of them in the English language, if it's looking a little too M dashy. So I will say I love the M dash, as I mentioned, and it's probably going to show up in another episode. So I hope you love the M dash too. Anyway, thank you for joining me today. Thanks to Dustin Johnston, who is the brains behind this operation. And I'd love to hear your thoughts and feedbacks. I'd love to hear your thoughts, feedback, and questions. You can put it below in the comments, or you can email us at law.jd.admissions@umich.edu and put vlog in the subject line. If you enjoyed this, you might want to check out my blog. There is a link below so you can find it. And I guess this is goodbye until next time. So wherever you go, go blue.